Namaskar viewers, hello and welcome to Sansad TV. I am Teena Jha, you're watching Perspective. The success of the Maha Kumbh held in Prayagraj was a prime example of Sabka Prayas, during which the entire world witnessed the grandeur of India. Speaking in the Lok Sabha on Tuesday, the Prime Minister said the Maha Kumbh reflects the spirit of rising India. Highlighting the collective contributions of various individuals and groups in making the Maha Kumbh a success, the Prime Minister acknowledged and appreciated the efforts of the government, society and all dedicated workers involved. At the same time, he expressed his gratitude to devotees from across the country, with special mention of the people of Uttar Pradesh and in particular the citizens of Prayagraj for their invaluable support and participation. Drawing a parallel between the Ram Mandir Pran Pratishtha ceremony in Ayodhya last year and the Maha Kumbh this year, the Prime Minister remarked that these events reinforce the nation's readiness for the next millennium. He also said, when a society takes pride in its heritage, it creates grand and inspiring moments as witnessed during the Maha Kumbh, emphasizing that such pride fosters unity and strengthens the confidence to achieve significant national goals. The Prime Minister exuded confidence that the inspirations drawn from the Maha Kumbh will serve as a strong medium for achieving the nation's resolutions. So we'll talk about how the Maha Kumbh in Prayagraj cemented its place as not just India's largest spiritual gathering, but a global cultural event that attracted millions of people from around the world. Also, how the grandeur of the Maha Kumbh reaffirmed the enduring power of faith to unite humanity. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome two distinguished guests on the program. Delighted to have with us Mr. Durga Shanker Mishra, former Chief Secretary, Uttar Pradesh. Thank you, sir, for your time. Welcome to Sansad TV. And I'm also pleased to welcome Mr. Prafulla Ketkar, editor of the Organiser. Mr. Ketkar, glad to have you with us on this broadcast as well. To begin with, and first I'll get opening remarks from both the speakers on the relevance, the significance and the impact that the Prime Minister's statement had about Mahakumbh. Mr. Ketkar, to you first. The Prime Minister made a very powerful speech in the Lok Sabha today. He tried to touch on every possible aspect that made Mahakumbh a huge success. What stood out particularly for you in terms of the message that the Prime Minister tried to give to an entire nation in trying to fulfill its aspirations towards a Viksit Bharat?
Teena, Mahakumbh conventionally, believed to be only a religious and spiritual festival. But what, as the Prime Minister rightly pointed out, it virtually became a sign of rising Bharat. The kind of numbers that we handled, and that is why, all the attempts to divide Bharat on various fault lines are actually people gave the reply, and that's why he's thanksgiving, almost a kind of thanksgiving to all the people of Prayagraj, all the officers, the sanitation workers, and the people who were involved in cleanliness drive. It was a kind of thanksgiving to all the people who made this possible. Secondly, the way he spoke about why this was a momentous occasion, and he compared this to Dandi March or martyrdom of Bhagat Singh or 1857 War of Independence. It was a momentous occasion. There are certain incidents in the national life which become a defining moment. If you ask anywhere in India today, you can now have a people of two categories: people who visited Kumbh and who could not. So it has created a kind of a FOMO syndrome, feeling of missing out. The third aspect, the way he spoke about the youth, the youth taking pride, people who are coming in jeans, but ready to walk as a devotee and experiencing Kumbh, not as a tourist, but as a devotee. And that was a differentiating factor. I was there in Kumbh for almost 4 days, and I could realize that, the way people prepared themselves for everything, and the way they experienced the grandeur, the kind of sea of people walking in some direction with the devotion. It was an experience in itself. Prime Minister actually tried to give words to that entire experience. And in terms of, he what he articulated actually is his idea. Yes, he has been talking about Sabka Prayas. It was but it was also a reflection of a united Bharat, Ek Bharat, and Shrestha Bharat, where the sense of unity around Triveni Sangam was created across caste, community, gender, region, language, breaking all those barriers.
Right, and the grandeur and the experience that you're talking about, Mr. Ketkar, it wouldn't have happened had it not been for the tireless efforts of those in the administration working at various levels for several years to make this experience, make the Mahakumbh a success, give the devotees a lifetime experience. Mr. Mishra, as someone who was at the helm overseeing the arrangements until a few months ago, do share your perspective on the importance and the significance of the Prime Minister's message today, and also talk to us about some of the efforts that your team had to undertake to provide this kind of an experience to 66 crore people who participated in the Mahakumbh.
Thank you, Teena. I just heard about briefing on the Honorable Prime Minister's statement today in Lok Sabha. I think nearly 65 crore plus people visiting Kumbh, an area of just 40 square kilometers, 4,000 hectares. This is unbelievable, incredible. This is what the new India has emerged now, that more than 65 crore people can come in a temporary city over a period of 45 days, 13th of January to 26th of February. Nowhere on any place on the Mother Earth, such an event of such a scale can happen. This shows the spirit of India. This shows, the heritage which we have been, this Mahakumbh has been happening every 12 years for ages. Last Ardha Kumbh, which was in 2019, we had estimated that nearly 20 crore people had come there. So on the basis of that, because after 2019, we had completely a new version of Kashi Vishwanath Dham. It's now attracting people from all across the world. Crores of people are visiting Varanasi. Then we had the Ram Temple, Bhagwan Prabhu Sri Ram Temple in Ayodhya, which came just a year before. And there again, crores of people from all across the country are coming. There is a lot of changes in Vindhyavasini Dham in Chitrakoot. Considering all this, that there is so much of development, and now this Mahakumbh is coming, and this is golden age of Indian history. This is the Swarnim Kal.
Right.
And there, the people's aspirations are rising. We expected that nearly 40 crores people will be coming. That was our expectation. And because of that, we started working on the infrastructure, how to welcome such people so that nobody has inconvenience and people go there with full satisfaction, full happiness, taking a joy. And accordingly, all the roads, the national highways, like say Lucknow to Prayagraj, this national highway was going on for a long time. It was incomplete. Now this time, this is complete, Lucknow to Prayagraj. Similarly, connecting the Prayagraj to Ayodhya, because people will be going from there to Ayodhya. Again, there were some hassles on the road. So this was all completed from there. The ring road of Prayagraj, this was completed, a new bridge on Gangaji, which could not get completed. We had planned that this will get completed before the Mahakumbh. For some reasons, some technical reasons, it could not completed. But we made a parallel road. We made an alternative road using half of the bridge, and so that people do not have inconvenience and they can go directly to the Mahakumbh. A new, from the airport to the Mahakumbh, a new road was constructed with a 6-lane road overbridge on the railway line. Completely a new road from their railway station going to the Mahakumbh, all these things completely changing the infrastructure as far as whether it is roadways, through the rail, or through the airport, or through the even the waterways.
Right.
All these required a lot of work, lot of preparation. In fact, I joined Uttar Pradesh as a Chief Secretary in 2021 December. From 2022 onwards, we started making preparations. Projects worth nearly 7,500 crores were sanctioned by the state government. Similarly, the central government, as far as the ministry like railway, I mean, completely new railway station, we say completely rejuvenated, because they were expecting 16,000 new trains running for Mahakumbh. The airport was completely rejuvenated. The bus station was completely rejuvenated and strengthened. It was made larger. So all these infrastructure, the central government has spent something of the same kind, nearly 7,000 crores on the various kind of infrastructure. Railway Minister, Honorable Railway Minister has mentioned that nearly 6.5 crore people travel to Prayagraj using this, the network. Similarly, from the Civil Aviation Ministry, nearly 6 lakhs people travel by airlines. Now, also it requires communication system. A huge communication system was required, and for that, that ministry has worked in a big way so that they can provide people have a seamless connectivity, and especially when we are going for a digital Kumbh, ICT network was supposed to work in the most optimal manner. So for that, the Ministry of Communication, they had provided all that facility. Not only this, we had to plan, I mean, the size of the Kumbh area. Size of the Kumbh area, earlier it was say around 2,000 hectares. It has to be expanded to 4,000 hectares. We had to increase the number of ghats. We had to plan the whole area, how the people settle there. And for that, we have used the digital system, GIS planning, so accurate planning is made so that we know where the roads will be there, where the bridges will be there, where the pontoon bridges will be there, where our akhadas can be stationed. Everything was totally planned. If you go there, I mean, people see the kind of massive effort which has gone in getting this. Nearly 1.5 lakhs toilets were there. More than 15,000 Swachhta workers were working all day in, day out, so that this Kumbh with crores of people there is a Swachh Kumbh.
Absolutely.
I mean, yes.
Perhaps
Teena, you were saying something?
Yes, and perhaps it is these massive efforts that went in making the Mahakumbh a successful event, and something which also saw a lot of global curiosity, a lot of global appeal, Mr. Ketkar. This time, this was evident in the surge that we saw in the international visitors. Also, we saw that people not just from different parts of the country, but from different parts of the globe were coming to witness what it felt like to be at the Mahakumbh. Talk to us about some of the factors, or what would you attribute to this kind of global curiosity towards what until a few years ago was considered just a religious gathering, but today it's something much more and beyond that religious or spiritual thing that was once associated with the Kumbh.
See, Teena, last week only I was hosting Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath in one of my events, and I interviewed him on Organiser platform. So I asked him, what was so different from earlier governments, and what was as Sir rightly told that the preparation started right from, because it is a new district that is being created.
Yes.
But the way, Yogi ji said, we wanted to change the narrative of Kumbh, and we wanted to change the narrative of Uttar Pradesh. And we worked as a team for these two objectives. So almost all ministers had, kind of road shows. Not only in India, but even in the US, and the way Kumbh was showcased as a grand event, earlier, even if you see Bollywood kind of narratives where Kumbh was shown only as, दो भाइयों का बिछड़ना, परिवारों का बिछड़ना, and those kind of narratives.
Right.
But here, thousands of people, even, they missed out their relatives or family members could find out with the help of technology. So the way it was showcased. So Uttar Pradesh took this as an opportunity. Remember, Uttar Pradesh has virtually become a spiritual capital of India now. As Sir was saying, this entire new circuit has developed. Everybody coming to Kumbh was going to Kashi, going to Ayodhya, and wanted to complete the circuit. So this was a different kind of positioning. Earlier also people used to come from outside. But another important aspect, the way we have played it as a part of our soft power and cultural diplomacy. Not less than 11 delegations from Buddhist countries visited Maha Kumbh this time. This is an unprecedented phenomena. In fact, I visited the Bauddha Vishesha Sangam, that was Bauddha camp that was stationed there at Mahakumbh. And I was so surprised that they were having a Kumbh related Anushthan day long, and every day a new delegation was coming there. So, and there was a 80 feet tall statue of Bhagwan Buddha, and almost 80 lakh people, as per the records, 80 lakh people have had individual snap with the, forget about the groups, individual snap at near the Buddha statue. Now these are the things that clearly show that people were curious. There were people who came just overnight from places like Dubai, from places like, and as Prime Minister said in his statement today in Lok Sabha, that when he went to Mauritius, carried Gangajal from Triveni Sangam there, and in the famous Ganga Talab, when he poured the water, the complete atmosphere was rejuvenated.
Right.
So we reconnected with our diaspora. We reconnected with the people who find solace in Indian spiritualism, people who find the philosophical tradition. And see, Teena, this was a kind of symbol. Virtually, it became a symbol of India's cultural continuity, social connectivity, and our cultural collectivity.
Absolutely.
So all these factors came together, and we projected it, we played it well, we had a team spirit in it, and devotees responded to the expectations of the administration. And it was a Kumbh, Mahakumbh led by the akhadas and the sadhus and sants. Devotees followed them, and administration virtually became a facilitator in this process. And that approach was I think, distinguishing factor as far as Mahakumbh is concerned.
Certainly. And what a seamless blend, Mr. Mishra, of ancient traditions, spirituality with modern technology. Sorry to cut you short. You did, elaborate on the kind of efforts that the UP government put in to ensure that the infrastructure was, put in place, and there was no shortage of that. But talk to us about the digital initiatives, because to put in an event of this scale, and when you say you have an unprecedented crowd of 66 crore is massive. When you have a footfall of that level, how did you so remarkably manage to integrate all the ICT tools, in organizing, in monitoring, in data-driven decision-making, also to, control the crowds, at the same time in keeping in check the safety and security aspect in such a, limited area, in such a limited space?
Thank you, Teena Ji. Before I get into this, think of it, the Ganga remained clean. All the, dirty waters which were being flowing, they have been all tapped and treated. Most of it has been treated, and wherever there was some little problem there, it was bioremediated. The kind of work which has been done by all important places which pilgrims visit in Prayagraj, like Saraswati Koop, like Akshay Bhat, like various places. All these places have been fully, the new corridor, Hanuman Mandir, all these have been fully rejuvenated. I mean, such attempts have gone in. A new road along Gangaji was almost 12 to 15 kilometers has been done so that from Lucknow people can come directly to Mahakumbh. So much of infrastructure, so much of work has been done. And on the top of it, because of the new technology, we use land planning, totally GIS-based land planning, project management system, completely IT-based project management system using the best software. To people, I mean, Prafulla mentioned about lost and found. It's all artificial intelligence was used, and most of 99% of people were all found right there because of there was a face recognition. Any person who was lost and found, they were recognized there. Integrated command and control center. Right. Integrated command and control center keeping nearly 2,700 more video cameras across Mahakumbh areas and the important places like railway station, airports, major crossings, all these places were there so that every nook and corner of the place were being watched through the integrated command and control center, and people were sitting, watching all the time so that if there is any crowd, any issues, they can resolve that right away. So this was used in a big way. Even for roads, for the ROBs, the planning exercise was all done through digitally. In fact, I used to do most of my reviews as a chief secretary in preparation to this Kumbh, mostly digitally. I mean, it was not somebody making a presentation. Straightway things which are getting online, what is the progress there, that progress I could see it. So it was much more credible use of technology. The technology was also used in showcasing what Prafulla said about Uttar Pradesh, or about the story of the Kumbh, or a story of our Sanatan. All these various pradarsanis were there. Again, a lot of digital media was used there. Chatbot was used in a big way. The website was connected to Google with the various other websites so that the experiences can be there in various places at various sites at the same place. More than 11 languages at the same time using the AI. You can use different languages for reaching out there. So I think technology was used in a big way. Drone system was used for surveillance. Our even this water police, the river water police, they had used technology in a big way so that they are connected. And the fire stations, I mean, you could see the kind of swiftness with which some fire incident took place, and the way the action was taken, or the way our hospitals worked. All these things work. I mean, they were using, if the technology was not there, I mean, I think such a huge size of 65 plus crore people visiting, and everything going on smoothly. Most of the people you ask, because even after Kumbh, those who have come out of it, I visited Kumbh in between, but those who have come out, I've been discussing with them. Most of the people, they have been expressing their satisfaction. Their surveys have come, like IIT Kanpur has done the satisfaction survey, and they found more than 90% people were satisfied. The river cleaning, I mean, whatever was happening, it was all being watched through QR code. It was watched through the digital board, and that is how you could see all the 1.5 lakh toilets all clean. Physically, some people, one person was allotted 10 toilets, but at the same time, all these things they had to report through the digital medium, and they could be seen at the integrated command and control center. So my point is, the digital use of digital technology has made this thing so much smooth, even for the traffic control.
Certainly.
Police control.
It is these efforts, sir, that have given every devotee who went there a lifetime experience, and we would like to, express our gratitude on behalf of everyone who went there. And as the Chief Minister of the state said, the Mahakumbh this year had something to offer to every single individual who happened to witness that grandeur. Mr. Ketkar, I'll take one last question from you, because it would be doing injustice if we do not talk about the economic ripple effect that the Mahakumbh, created, especially for those there, in terms of creating employment, in terms of strengthening the state's economy as well. Talk to us about the transformation and the lasting economic impact of the Mahakumbh.
See, Tina, 7,500 crore investment was made, and many people were asking, why are you making? Is this going to give employment? Is this going to improve our economy? The answer is yes. India has always improved when temples have improved. India has always improved when yatras and melas have worked very well. India's economy has deteriorated whenever yatras and melas and temples were destroyed. So the simple answer is, this was almost a permanent investment that was made in creating various corridors. There were 7 major highways that were connected to the Prayagraj city. The city, the Mela Kshetra, the temporary city was the only thing. But even now, we can see besides the different corridors, there are certain places, even tents, which have, durability even beyond 45 days, and they are still in demand. People still want to experience the Triveni. So that is one. Two, most of the first time I have ever seen, I have been to, earlier Kumbh, whether in Ujjain or whether in Prayagraj. This time at 12 at night, young boys or girls, there was a girl I could converse with who was handling a tea shop, and her father was actually handling the supply chain. Right. And she was very confident at age of 16, 18, and I asked her, how much, you are able to deliver? So she said, 30 liter ka to 30 liter ka to chai bana hi leti hu din bhar mein. So that much of amount she was making and she was selling. The people who were commuting, on bikes, on e-rickshaws, it was all, direct money getting into people's hands. So it was a huge money spinner. And as, recently we have seen in case of Ayodhya, in case of Kashi, people coming there, so they spent on transport, they spent on food. Was a luxury there because everybody was getting the food almost in bhandaras and free of cost, and people were ready to serve, but somebody was supplying it and somebody was paying for it. So there was a continuous, so the way money transaction has happened in Kumbh, and as Chief Minister has said, it can go beyond 2 lakh crore. So that investment is, worth doing. So the way we want to see it, Indian economy has always thrived when India has thrived culturally. And Mahakumbh has proved that beyond point, that across the sections, across the class, people have benefited out of Mahakumbh. Yes, people of Prayagraj, and that's why I was very, very thankful that Prime Minister especially mentioned the people of Prayagraj, because they faced a lot of inconvenience. Many of them had to park their own vehicles outside city and walk down. So it was not easy. It was more than 45 days of inconvenience for the common public of Prayag. But I think it was a magnificent experience, and it was a perfect blend of our social, cultural unity for economic prosperity, and again, a sign of Ek Bharat Shrestha Bharat.
Certainly. So Mahakumbh 2025 will be remembered as not just, a spiritual event, but also will go down in administrative history as one of the most seamless events, which hosted about 66 crore people. The number itself says, and can describe the scale of the festival. But at the same time, it had significant, profound economic impact, something that Mr. Ketkar spoke about. It It bolstered the economy of Uttar Pradesh because of increased tourism, increased employment, revenue generation and so on. But what's important is that this seamless experience happened because of perfect blend of our ancient traditions with technology and with the kind of arrangements that were made possible by a huge team which was working hard tirelessly for several years to make this event a successful, something that the Prime Minister also referred to. So let's also take a moment to remember all those who put in their tireless efforts to make the Mahakumbh a landmark event in history. And with that, we'll have to wrap up the program because time allows me to take up only that much on this edition of Perspective. Once again, a big thank you to Mr. Mishra and Mr. Ketkar for joining us on Sansad TV and sharing your thoughts with us and our viewers on this very, very important topic. Thank you to you viewers as well for your time.